Happy Saturday, everyone. We don't get a lot of time together, so I wanted to send you a video to try to break down the Crane Wife now that you guys have had an opportunity to study it and to learn the lines. I just want to kind of give you a little bit of the sentiment behind the play. I don't really know if it's connecting quite yet, and it's because when you're trying to concentrate on just the individual lines, it's kind of hard to see a piece as cohesive. So I just kind of want to walk through it a little bit, scene by scene, a little bit of line by line. So what you are doing is you are being a storyteller. You are telling a story. That is actually what studio is supposed to be about. And so I don't want them to be able to say, if you take away all the technical elements, what is left? Was the story told? Because ultimately, as a judge, when they go into their meeting, that's what they tell the studio judges is, was the story told? And you guys have to be the one that tells the story. You've got to make them, in the end, tear up with the fact that that beautiful story was told. So what is the story? So you're starting off and you're talking about this place. It's a real place. It is a sacred place. It is a place that has been looked upon for centuries as the lifeblood of a particular region in Japan. And so we're starting off and we're painting that picture. The narrators paint it. They paint this beautiful place that we just wish we could whisk off to. That just sounds so amazing to just be up on this beautiful mountain, away from cars, away from just the hustle and bustle, just this beautiful place where villagers live, and their one thing that they focus on, obviously, is trying to survive, to eat, to have clothing, to have a home. And the way they do that is by making these beautiful cloth. Has there ever been something that you're passionate about, and even though it might be a little bit of work to you, you're still so proud of it in the end when you're able to show somebody? That's what they're doing. This isn't a burden for them to make this cloth. It's actually an amazing passion. I went to Downton Abbey last night, and if you've ever seen something like Downton Abbey with the butlers and the footmen, and they are so proud. I mean, I'm sure some of us cannot ever imagine what they do, getting up at 3 a.m. in the morning and making sure the entire house is clean and starting the meals and going in and serving. But they were so proud of what they do. That's what this Echigo cloth was to these villagers in the Miyoko Mountains. Right. This is they're in the province of Echigo. They're in this beautiful, beautiful place. Can you imagine like snow falling for 9 months, just 9 months in and out? And I think that talking about that, why that's so pertinent to the story, is it's a place of peace. It's a place of renewal. Sometimes they in the Bible they talk about like the making things white as snow, pure as snow. And so that's what you're trying to get across, narrators, when you're first starting this out. You're trying to paint this beautiful place, right? And so when the musume, when they come out to weave, right, you guys are passionate, like, Kate and Ava and I'm losing my Alyssa. You guys have been these same people before, right? But you've passed this on. You're training them. You're passing this on to the next generation, because just like when I was watching Downton Abbey last night, and like one of the last things that happened is that realization that how important it is sometimes to pass down something to another generation. That's what you're doing. So you're saying weave well, my dear. Breathe deeply. In and out. Because maybe like the other person's like really, really making them nervous. Like, one of them's like, weave well, my dear. And then was like, okay, chill out here. Just weave in and out, right? And then Kate again comes back with, keep it even, little one, right? Because it's like, that's how you train somebody. You see how passionate I am when I train you. That's what you're doing. You're training them right now of what to do. And then Ben, just come in like, oh, the crate bite, you're letting us know. I know that seems like such a superfluous line, and you're like, well, why is it even there? I was like an idiot saying this line. Okay, have you ever been watching a movie and they like every scene, like within the first like 5 minutes, they've gone up to somebody and said their name to them? Hey, Bob, how are you doing today? Do we do that? Do you go up to Joy? Hey, Joy, how are you doing today? He goes, hey, how you doing? Right? But they have to do that in the movie. They have to do that in the TV show, or we're not going to know who anybody is. We're not going to know their name because we don't know them. So that's what you're doing. You're trying to say, like, why are they doing this? Are they doing this for fun? Are they doing this so that they have their own clothing? No. They're doing it because the crepe buyers are going to pay a high price for it. That's why you're saying that line, right? The crepe buyers, they will pay a high price. And then Noah, why? Why are they going to pay this high? Because Echigo cloth is famous, right? That's why you're letting us know that. So then the next thing that happens, Suru, the cranes were very, very important lifestyle. And they were just a beautiful animal. If you go on YouTube and you type up Suru dancing or Japanese red crown cranes dancing, you will see that they dance. They actually dance together. It's absolutely beautiful. And so that's, you guys are talking, though, about how they also affected you in your village, how important that they were to you, right? And so I think that that is representational of the beauty of what a religion can do, right? It's a protector. It works with us, right? This wasn't like just a Christian relation, yin and yang, right? Is probably what they're trying to talk about in Japanese. Okay, you got the bad stuff that happens. The mice come and eat the rice fields, but the cranes come in and they're creating that yin and yang, right? That circle of life, and how we work together as a world. And so that's why they said we fish together in the waters of the Uano River, right? You're happy about that. And the cranes, they kept the mice from the rice bin. I mean, it's like, this is so amazing that God has sent us this beautiful creature, and we live together with them as one. So, so then Ryland, it's not like a sad thing that you say, but when the sun hides behind the comet and the heavy snow falls from the burdened sky, that's a kind of a funny word that they use it that way. It just means that it can't hold it anymore, right? So it's just got to let it go. And then letting us know they leave, okay? They go away. And so, but this is important because you guys need them to come back. And so, hey, fly, Suru, fly. Because if they stay there and they freeze to death and they don't leave in time, then they're going to die. They're not going to come back. And then that circle of life is going to be broken. You're telling them to go. I know it sounds stupid. Oh, go to the certain parts. But again, you're letting us audience as a story. The story is being told through you. Where do they go? They're going away to the marshes. When you're telling them to go away, where are they going? They're going to the marshes. Okay? And so then, Kate, like, remind them though, but you better come back. Okay? You better come back because without you, right? And so Noah's saying, the snow will pass. It'll be gone, and you'll be able to come back, okay? The snow will pass again, okay? You're going to be able to come back. And you just remind me, go away, okay? So the gray snow crane leaves their, so they leave, right? But then, whenever they come out of the hunters, though, so these are the villagers, right? And the villagers, they need these cranes. They depend on these. But the hunters want something else, okay? The hunters are completely separate for what the villagers and the hunters want. And don't forget, you guys are playing two different roles. You're going to be listed as villagers / hunters, okay? And so they come out, and they have a different idea, right? Their idea is, we got to get these things because the winter's long. We need them for this and this and this and this. Two totally different thoughts on what the crane does for them, okay? And so it's that yin and yang, right? They have this beautiful vision of what the cranes do for them, and the hunters are selfish, right? But are they? That's where the story has to develop. The story has to develop of what is the difference between surviving, being selfish, but then understanding how everything relates to each other. And so that's what's happening. So the villagers like, bye-bye, see ya. And the hunters are like, oh yeah, here they come. Okay? So So then our story starts to unfold with Kokoro. Okay? So think about this. So Kokoro's going back to the village. Okay, he's going back to a village where they thought that the cranes have flown away and that they're going to be fine. But he happens to be away from the village and sees that a crane has been shot. And the cranes are sacred to them, right? They're very sacred to them. So that's hurting his heart. That's hurting his heart. I mean, that would be as if, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to depress anybody. But I mean, something that, is almost like, not like a pet, okay, but something that's sacred. Like we would not shoot an American eagle, right? American eagles are sacred to us. And someone has gone and they've shot this arrow and it could potentially die. And that would be heartbreaking to Kokoro, okay? So then the crane comes out and it is the most beautiful, it's like so fragile, right? It's like, have you ever found like a little baby bird that fell out of their nest and you're not really supposed to touch it, but you can't help yourself, right? It's just this fragile little creature. So you find a way to pick it up and put it back in its nest. You're so gentle and so careful. That's what Kokoro needs to do with the crane. But the crane is terrified, right? Okay? The crane has never encountered a human being that up close before. And he just got shot by a human. Are you a good human or are you a bad human? Just kidding. Sorry. Reference. So that's what's happening right there is that. And then he takes the arrow and it's that moment of, you're seeing the love, right? The crane wife is appreciative of the love that was shown to her. That she's saying, not everybody is bad. Because for that very instant, she was like, humans are bad, people are bad, things are bad, and I'm about to die. But then in that moment, he doesn't take the arrow or he doesn't cram it in more. He takes it out. And it's that, this is amazing. I have to repay you with my life, right? And so whenever you have that moment, it's like you just look at him like, I thank you. And it's like you're looking each other in the eyes and it's I don't know, it's like the Beauty and the Beast, right? And the Belle, we can watch Beauty and the Beast and go, Belle fell in love with the Beast, right? But the Beast really was a prince. So it's not like it's not weird. It's not that you're trying to be weird like you're in love with a crane. You see something in the crane's eyes. Okay, Kokoro? All right, so, and so then whenever she stands and leaves and she flies off, so we need that to kind of be like she flies off, she comes around, and then you're standing there. That was a beautiful moment, Muses. But Joy, you got to come right in. It was the middle of the night, and suddenly, right? And then we're like, what is this? Like, we don't know what's happening, right? Because we're telling the story. Audience doesn't know what's happening. And so then we keep going. I love this whole moment. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful moment. So villagers, okay? So think about a town being less than the size of Madison Academy, all right? And you know how quickly things travel at Madison Academy. You know how people can judge things that they don't understand, that they don't know, right? And so you're immediately coming in, running in, Ryland's like, very soon the village was full of gossips. Have you seen that boy Kokoro? Young Kokoro has a wife. Okay, remember, people were promised to each other back then. You paid a dowry and the person moved on. And Kokoro doesn't need money to pay a dowry. And they never thought he'd ever get married. He was not compatible with anyone. He was probably a dreamer and a wanderer. And they just what? Kokoro? Seriously? Really? And then Noah says the Ujigami have smiled on him because, it's there's no other way, right? And that's their way of saying that God has blessed him, right? It's the same way of having that. And Alyssa's and not only does he have a wife, have you seen that lady? Whoop. Okay? So, you want to think about Steve Urkel, marrying, whoever's like supposed to be beautiful to you guys these days, because I don't even know. Okay, so it's Beyonce, right? So Steve Urkel ends up marrying Beyonce. So it's that same kind of thing. It's just like, what, and Ben is like, well, where did he find that? I mean, I'm sorry, like she's came out of nowhere, right? And so, and then Kate, he's not supposed to have that. He's not that, and that's, so at that moment, to relate it to the Bible, right? You are the Pharisees, right? You're the Pharisees. And you think that you're better and that other people don't deserve what you have. So you're being very, very Pharisee at that moment, okay? You feel that no one deserves grace. You feel that it's all about money and it's all about power and it's all about position, and that he doesn't deserve that. He's not good enough to have that, okay? Now, whenever you guys start taunting Kokoro, and Kokoro, it's like he's heard this his whole life. And he starts thinking about it. So when he first sees the crane wife, he's so grateful. He's so grateful and he wants to take her in. But then he remembers, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to have this wife. Like they're gonna see right through me. Like, what is going on, right? Am I being punked? And so he starts to get to him, starts to get to his head, right? And because it's such a short story, it's got to develop fast. Happiness, woo, 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 party, 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 happy. And then it's like, this is where we already start to see character development. So what we see in the villagers first is this beauty and this pureness, but then they start showing their true colors, right? So the villagers are like, jealousy. Jealousy is just like the root of everything. Jealousy causes everything. And that's what's happening, is we're seeing the jealousy, right? You're so jealous. And so that's why you're acting that way. And we need to see it. We need to see that you're jealous and that you don't think that Kokoro deserves it, right? So then, even though Kokoro should have been extremely happy to have this wife that he never thought he had, he wanted more. And that's what happens. We always want more. Eve, Adam and Eve in the Bible. Can you imagine? Can you imagine like having to not worry about a thing in your life? Everything's handed to you. You don't have to hunt. You don't have to grow. You don't have to plant. Everything's handed to you. But Eve wanted more. So that's what's happening with Kokoro right now. He wants more. So anyway, so then we are, he starts to feel shame, right? Eve felt shame in the Bible. That is what made her do what she did. That's what makes us do what we do. I had this awful car in high school. Hated this car, but my stepdad got it like practically for nothing. And sometimes I would like park like a million miles away and walk up to things so they could see me in this car. I hated this car that much. I was ashamed of the car, right? But I should have been lucky that I had a car. Some people don't even have a car. So, I was being selfish in my shame. I was being very, very selfish in my shame. And that's what Kokoro's doing here. So the crane wife, right? You love him. He doesn't know. He doesn't know everything you've given up, right? He doesn't know what your intentions are. He has no idea why you're there. So you've got to be as gentle and as giving. I mean, you have to be exhausted with trying to give so much to him because you owe your life to him. And he doesn't even know that, right? It's like when Jesus came, no one knew. No one knew the sacrifice he was going to make. No one knew it. No one knew what he was there for. Same thing. So anyway, so you're going through, and then, so then what is she going to do? She's going to give. She's going to give. There's like the story in the Bible where there's the woman of faith, and she's very, very sick, and she touches Jesus' robe, and she's healed, but it takes something out of Jesus. He goes, I feel power just went out of me. Someone's touched me. And he was tired. So it's that same thing. You're giving, but then you give out at that moment, that magic, okay? Granted, we also know what you're doing. So guys, so it has to be katan, Katone, Katan, Katone. Over and under the shuttle is passed, over and under the fragile thread, over and under the weaver works Katan, 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 Katone. Days and nights the weaver works, days and nights she doesn't sleep, over and under the shuttle goes, days and nights she doesn't eat. Katan, Katone, Katan, Katone. 3 days, 3 nights she works alone, 3 days, 3 nights in the shuttle goes, over and under the cloth is made, she weaves and works and then it's done. We want to know. And that excitement, we're like, what's happening? Right? That's the excitement that we're hearing. And then Kokoro's like, wow, I'm really lonely. Like, okay? Have you ever had that moment where you feel like Jesus isn't with you or God isn't with you and you just feel absolutely alone? That for a split moment you've lost your faith, right? And so that's what's happening. And she comes out and he realizes for a split moment, he's like, ugh. But then he's like, but you know what? I'm going to get what I want, right? So we want to feel sorry for her. We want to feel sorry. We want it to be like she just comes out and she's exhausted, right? And he's trying to act like he cares, but greed. So anyway, so then he goes, and you guys are just like, what? Like, this thing is amazing. I want that for myself. I'm going to show it off at Christmas time or whatever, right? So, so then again, now you're the market bidders. So, you're the neighbors. You've seen this. You go around, you come out. Now you're the bidders, right? So you're all these different people. You are all these different people. And so, on the money, I want to hear this. I want to hear this from everybody. Money, silver, money, gold. Kokoro is a rich man. Kokoro is a fine man. Money, silver, money, gold. What a blessing for Kokoro. Because now that's what he's hearing, right? In his head, he's hearing, they're going to think he is amazing. No more talking bad about me, right? And so anyway, but then time starts passing and he starts losing out money. And the greed creeps back in because we're only happy for so long, right? Think about that new thing that you've had. You just had to have it. Oh, my goodness. I know I talk about my son a lot, but there were so many things in his life, like as a kid. Oh, he had to have it. And if he didn't have it, life was over. Play with it for like 2 weeks, and then that was it, okay? And so so this is kind of like Kokoro. He wants more, right? He's realized he's had the good life. He's had the taste of the good life. And so now he's got to manipulate his way back into the good life, right? So he's being manipulative. He's being manipulative right now. And so, again, we want to feel sorry for her because she wants to help, right? She's like, I will do anything for you, okay? You saved my life. But again, he still doesn't know that, okay? So anyway, so then she does it again. Katan, Katone, Katan, Katone. Days and nights the sound of breath. Days and nights no food or sleep. Over and under the shadow glides. Days and nights the weaving goes, right? So Ryland, Kokoro waited 1 day. Ichi Nichi, 2 days. 3 days. Mika, 4 days. Yoka, 4 days. And the lights come up, and on the 5th day, Kokoro's wife came out from behind the screen. You guys love her. The muses love her. You're watching her. You're you know what I mean? Like you're her guides through life, through the world. You've been sent there to keep an eye on her because she's made such a big choice. You're like disciples, right? You're watching this all unfold. You're watching this love and this sacrifice, and you're watching this all unfold so that you can later on tell the story, just like the disciples did, right? All right, so again, mind-blowing. This is amazing. It's better than even before, right? Because maybe now she's down to the feathers that didn't get touched by the sun or the whatever. She's getting down into it, right? She's leaving the surface, okay? So the surface of her, she's getting a little bit deeper, a little bit deeper, and a little bit deeper, Okay, so that's why this has to become, we have to see, villagers, that it's becoming more and more beautiful each time. Kokoro, we see in your face, it's so much more beautiful because that layer is going away and we're getting deeper and deeper into the heart. Deeper into the heart. Okay, so anyway, you're happy. Crane Wife, you're happy. You've made him happy, right? And I mean, I know none of you guys have been married as long as I have, but last year I was so excited to give my husband like this amazing, the best gift I've ever given him, our 20th anniversary. It was just so amazing to see him happy, right? All right, so so then it's like, what happens? Okay, I used to work with Dolly, and I used to know the stories of her family. Were like, Dolly's got a lot of money, she better give us the money, right? We're her family. So that's what's happening is the neighbor's like, wait a minute, I want in on this. What's going on here, right? Villager's probably been talking. Like he's probably like, where's she going to get the rent? I don't know. She never leaves. I don't know where she got it, right? So he's trying to come in there and be a spy. And so that's so then again, she wants to please him. Joy and Emily and Summer. Okay, it's say that was an idea that pleased the simple peasant. And then it was about what should he tell his wife? The poor peasant was frightened. What if she couldn't weave again? And when he returned inside the hut, this is Summer, when he returned inside the hut, his head was full of confusion, right? All right, so then we have the villagers. Kokoro-dan, neighbor, friend, right? You guys are sounding really good on this. Make sure you really say that out loud and proud. So then Summer, in only a few days, the neighbor returned, right? You're telling us this story. You've got to keep it intense, okay? We got to know, lean in again. The neighbor returned. Like, what's going to happen now? What's going to happen? And so then, samurai. I mean, big and bold because you're being ridiculous, right? You're just being, where is the man who will sell me the magic cloth? Right? Like, do you really believe this? Everybody's been telling you it's a magic cloth. I want to see it for myself. Right? You're curious. And so, whenever Samurai, where you have the line, I think I skipped a page somewhere. I don't even know. Oh, yeah. Kokoro, young peasant, come out. I will not hurt you. I brought 2,000 Rio, right? So you're crazy. You're cray, all right? And so, it just needs to be, you scheming peasant. You think I'm a fool as that? Ha! 10 days, Kokoro, right? So, anyway, so then now we've got manipulation, right? Crazed. You're crazed about this. Do you care about the neighbor? We don't know, right? The 2,000 Rio. Okay, the thing about the neighbor honestly did not appeal to you as much as the greed in your heart. And we need to see that greed, right? And it can almost be like, thank you, my wife. my beautiful wife, thank you. And I know my wife, I'm not to look. I do not understand, but I'm not to look, right? So, because you're like, I don't care anymore. Like, I just want you to weave my cloth and let's do this. And then the frustration that you're having is that you want that. It's like, I don't know, to use drug people as a reference. They gotta have it, and they'll do whatever they want to get to it. So now you guys can start being darker. Katone, over and under the weaves alone, over and under the thread is drawn, over and under the groaning. Because that's a scary word, groaning. So we need to see that character development in you guys, right? Now it's getting sinister. Now it's getting dark. At first, it was like Fluffy, she's going to help him. But now it is turned. It is turned for the worst, right? And so Rylan, Kokoro, look at the marks on the wall. 1 day she had been weaving, but it felt like a million days to him, right? Okay? 2 days. Ava, Alyssa, Noah, why take so long? Ben and Kate, what is the secret behind the screen? Okay? Remember, you're still being Kokoro's thoughts. This is not you saying it. This is Kokoro's thoughts. You are narrating his thoughts because that is what he is hearing in his mind, right? The neighbor already got into his head. What? Aren't you the master of your own house? He's already gotten into his head, okay? And then a piercing cry threw him back, okay? I thought that went well yesterday, okay? Joy, walk up. What he saw was not human, right? It's like it's now been revealed. What he saw was not human. Emily, what he saw was a crane. But no, once a beautiful crane. Summer, now the bird's long neck and sleek body were naked, bald, the white body smeared with blood. And you run off. It was awful. You can't even look. Joy, 3 times. Take your time. This is the whole gist of the whole story, right? 3 times. There behind the screen. 3 times. With his own beak. He had plucked out each of his beautiful feathers to weave upon the loom. Okay, 3 is very significant to us as Christians, right? 3 is very significant to us as Christians. So 3 has to be said. Emily, the sight was too much for simple Kokoro. There, while his mind lost touch with his body, he heard a sad and terrible voice. And then you leave sadly. Crane wife, this is it. This is the gist of the story. My dear husband, for your sake, I did as you asked. I hoped you would be able to honor my request. I do to come behind the screen. But now you have looked upon me in my naked suffering. You have seen my sorrow. I sacrificed my honor. My dignity is lost. And now I can no longer remain in this human world, this sad human world of envy and distrust. Right? Because as Christians, we had somebody come and do that for us. As Christians, we had somebody that could not stay here. Right? But Jesus left something behind for us. He left us grace. He left us mercy. And so, Summer, when you bring out that long cloth and you're spreading that long cloth out, that is grace. That is mercy. And you spread it out and you are proud, right? And so the flock comes out. And it's like angels coming back, right? Angels are coming back to get her and to take her back, to restore her body. Because even like when we go to heaven, we're going to be restored. Our bodies are going to be restored. And everybody realizes Kokoro and the villagers, these are the cranes that we were talking about when the story first began. These are the cranes that do everything for us. She sacrificed something. And maybe she sacrificed more for all of them than just Kokoro. And so you guys are going to stand there, right? She said, you come out and you've experienced love, but in these lines, Ava and Alyssa and Noah and Ben and Kate, you are seeing the most beautiful love you have ever seen. Lighter than air, whiter than snow. It glows. It's made of breath. It floats. But look. See the crimson thread? Okay, remember doubting Thomas? And they saw. Remember that? So that's what you're saying. But look. Right? He left something behind. Did something. See the crimson thread? deeper than blood and whiter than snow, right? Because Jesus' blood is like that for us. Deeper than blood, though. And he became whiter than snow. Ava, you say it all. It is magnificent. It is magnificent. Kate, it is a gift of life and blood, right? Says it all. So now you guys are watching. You're watching as if angels and God himself were descending. As Braxton says the line, beyond the crest of the mountain, a flock of cranes filled the sky with beating white wings. Up from the valley toward them flew a single bird. They gathered her up into her flock, and Kokoro could barely see it. The tiny form of a single crane swallowed up in a mist of snowy birds and carried farther and farther away. The cranes are flying. Okay, what does that mean? They're back. The cranes are back, right? And now you have hope again. Every time you see those cranes come back, you have hope. Because if they don't come back, then you don't have that circle of life. You don't have your yin and yang. They complete your village. Right? See them go, Kokoro. Look at the cloth. Okay? It's like you're reminding him of what was done for him. But you're also letting yourself know what was done for you. The beautiful cloth, says Ben. Kokoro is a rich man. Because he got a chance to experience love and have someone sacrifice something for them. And in that mercy, in that power of the blood, he is rich. Because it doesn't matter, right? Money, silver, money, gold. It is done. Ite shimasa, whatever you say there, Braxton. Everyone, the story is done. You're saying that as if you're saying, you're welcome, right? The story is done. You're welcome. We told you a great story. That's what that has to be like in the end. Guys, it's a beautiful story, and I want you guys to be able to tell it. A lot of people aren't brave enough to tell a story like this, and I think that that's what I loved about it. It's not High School Musical, right? It's not Alice in Wonderland. It's not The Wizard of Oz. It is a deep story, and when told right, it is going to move people. I'm a comedian myself. Some of my best, I'm half the things I've ever done. But I will tell you, the plays that I've done, when I have moved people, when I've seen people start crying, that lives with me even more than the laughter that I've received. To move somebody is the most ultimate thing that an actor can do. So I hope that this helped you. One of the things that we're going to do this week is we're going to do what's called a speed through. I think we did it last year. It's a very important thing. I think we even did it on the bus on our way to state before Randolph and them got on in JP2. Is we do a speed through. That just means that you do line. You just sit in a big circle, line. Okay? Do a speed through. Just so that you're thinking really, really fast. So guys, please learn your lines. I want everybody saying this. I want Rylan and Braxton and everybody. I want everybody to go Katone, right? I'm going to get Carly to say it from backstage so that she has like a script unless she can memorize it by then. Maybe the entire crew. I'm going to have Andrew and Megan do it also from their seats because they'll have scripts right in front of them. Okay, but don't rely on them. I just need you guys to try to memorize your lines, and I think that we will be doing a lot better. So anyway, I hope that you guys are watching this, and so I'm gonna test you guys right now. I don't know if you watched it or not, and watched all the way to the end. And the secret password is, let's see, let me come up with something like totally like crazy. Broken down bus. So if you say broken down bus, I know that you watched the whole thing. Bye.